Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins today, we're going to uncover one of the most talked about coins circulating online right now, the 1993 P. Washington quarter. You may have heard people claim that this ordinary looking quarter could be worth as much as $1.5 million. Yes, $1.5 million for a coin most people walk past without a second thought. But is that real? Is there any truth behind the massive number being thrown around? Could a 1993 P quarter in your pocket or coin jar actually be worth more than a house, more than exotic cars, more than some people earn in a lifetime? Today, we're breaking it all down. The history, the real market value, the rare errors that increase the price, and the truth behind the million-dollar claims. This is one of those videos where you'll want to watch to the end, because the final explanation may surprise you. The history of the 1993 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter began in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design by John Flanagan became one of the most recognizable and beloved coin designs in U.S. history. By the time we reached 1993, the United States Mint was producing billions of coins annually. The quarter remained copper-nickel clad, meaning it contained no silver. The front features Washington's profile, while the back still displays the bald eagle gripping arrows and an olive branch. The Philadelphia Mint, represented by the letter P on the coin, struck hundreds of millions of quarters in 1993. This means the typical 1993 P. Washington quarter is extremely common. You can find them everywhere, in drawers, coin rolls, even in change from vending machines. But as always, when millions of coins are produced at high speed, rare mistakes can happen. And those mistakes, those freak accidents of the minting process, are the reason some 1993 P quarters can be worth far more than 25 cents. Why most 1993 P quarters are and since the Philadelphia Mint produced such a large number of these coins, the average 1993 P quarter carries almost no extra value. Even uncirculated examples usually bring just a few dollars, maybe 10 to 20 if the coin is an extremely high grade. But that doesn't stop collectors from searching. Because in a sea of ordinary examples, truly rare mint errors sometimes appear. And those rare coins are where the real excitement begins. The rare errors that make the 1993 P worth real. Here are the powerful mint errors that can transform an ordinary 1993 P quarter into a valuable collector piece. Double die errors. These occur when the die that struck the coin shows doubling on the date or lettering. Strong doubling can raise the price of a coin into the hundreds or more, depending on visibility. Off-center strikes. If the coin was not properly aligned in the press, part of the design can be missing. The farther off-center the strike, the higher the value. Broad strikes. When the collar fails during minting, the coin expands outward and looks stretched. These errors can be worth several $100s. Strikes on the wrong planchet. This is where things get rare and valuable. If the design of a quarter was struck on a dime or penny blank, the mistake becomes instantly collectible. These mistakes can range from several hundred to several $1,000s. Missing clad layer errors. When the coin lacks its outer nickel layer on one or both sides, it reveals a copper surface underneath. These can be visually dramatic and sought after by collectors. Multi-strikes and die breaks. These dramatic, visually obvious mistakes can skyrocket a coin's value because they are literally mint-made accidents frozen in metal. These real error types are the foundation for high-value 1993 P quarters, where the $1.5 million claim comes from. Now, let's talk about the part everyone wants to know. Why are people saying that a 1993 P Washington quarter is worth $1.5 million? The truth is surprising. There has never been a verified, documented sale of a 1993 P quarter for $1.5 million. No auction house, no private record, no numismatic source confirms this price. The number comes from online speculation, clickbait articles, misunderstood listings, and the idea that a never-before-seen, extreme mint error could theoretically draw seven-figure bids. And while that may sound far-fetched, it's not impossible. Other U.S. coins with unique, one-of-a-kind mint errors have sold for 6 and 7 figures. When you combine rarity, uniqueness, historical significance, and collector competition, prices can explode. The $1.5 million figure represents a hypothetical, dream scenario coin. A 1993 P quarter with an unheard of error so dramatic, so unusual, and so visually shocking that top collectors would fight for it. Has that coin been found? No. Could it exist? Possibly. And that possibility is what fuels the excitement and keeps people searching. Realistic values for the 1993 P quarter. Here's what collectors actually pay for 1993 P quarters, depending on rarity. A normal circulated example is worth 25 cents. A high grade, nearly perfect mint state coin can bring $20 to $50. A missing clad layer error can range from $50 to $200. An off-center strike may sell for $100 to $500, depending on how dramatic it is. A coin struck on a wrong planchet can sell for several hundred or even a few $1,000s. A dramatic multi-strike error, if certified, can sell for thousands. So, while the $1 million coin remains unproven, real money can still be made off genuine mint errors from this year. How to tell if your 1993 P quarter is finally. Here's what to look for if you want to check your coin. Examine the letters for doubling, especially around the date. In God we trust and liberty. Check the coins. Surface for cracks, raised metal, or missing sections. Look for off-center or misaligned designs. Check the rim and edges. If the coin looks stretched or irregular, it may be a broad strike. Weigh the coin. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A different weight can signal a wrong planchet. Inspect the color. A copper-colored side may indicate a missing clad layer. If anything seems unusual, strange, misplaced, or visually different, you may have a valuable error coin worth having graded. And so, is the 1993 P Washington quarter worth $1.5 million? For almost everyone, no. A regular 1993 P quarter is worth exactly what it says, 25 cents. But certain rare errors can make this coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And the idea of a $1 million example, while not confirmed, continues to spark curiosity and excitement. That's what makes coin collecting so incredible. Any ordinary day, any ordinary pocket change could hide something extraordinary. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment which coin you want me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want, I can also create a dramatic storytelling version, a 10-minute monetized structure version, or a shorter punchy version. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Rarest coins. Today we're diving into one of the most talked about coins on the internet right now, the 1981 P Washington quarter. You've probably seen headlines and videos claiming that this coin could be worth an unbelievable $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. A simple quarter from 1981 said to be worth more than a mansion. But what's the truth behind this coin? Where did this number come from? And is it actually possible that your pocket change could turn you into a millionaire? Today we're uncovering the history, the real value, the rare errors, and why some people believe this coin could hit seven-figure status. Let's get started. History of the 1981 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the front, with the proud American eagle on the reverse. For decades, the design stayed basically the same. But by the time we reached 1981, silver was long gone from regular U.S. quarters. These coins were made from copper and nickel, which means most of them have no intrinsic metal value. And yet, 1981 was still a significant year. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 600 million quarters that year, making the 1981 P one of the more common circulation coins of the early 1980s. Because of this high production volume, most 1981 P quarters are extremely common. You can pull one straight from pocket change even today. But within that massive ocean of coins, a few extremely rare mistakes slipped through the cracks. And these are the coins that change everything. Why the 1981 P quarter is usually aimed before we get to the big numbers. It's important to set expectations. A normal 1981 P Washington quarter, with no errors and average circulation wear, is worth exactly 25 cents. Even a nice, uncirculated example may only fetch a few dollars. The overwhelming majority of these coins simply aren't rare. So where does the $1.3 million story come in? It comes from the tiny fraction of coins that have truly unusual, extremely rare mint errors that collectors will pay enormous money for. These coins are the hidden gems buried among millions of ordinary examples. The rare errors that give this coin real value are the types of rare or dramatic mint errors that make 1981 P quarters valuable. A double die obverse error, where parts of the date or inscriptions appear doubled. These can be worth hundreds of dollars depending on the strength of the doubling. A dramatic double strike or flip over double strike, where the coin was struck twice, sometimes after flipping in the press between strikes. These can reach thousands of dollars at auction. A wrong planchet strike, where a quarter design was accidentally struck on the metal blank for a penny, nickel, or dime. These are extremely rare and highly collectible, and can sell for hundreds or thousands depending on condition. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, and missing design elements, which can also add significant value depending on the severity of the mistake. These are the types of errors that collectors go wild for, and they're the reason why people often assume a normal coin might be worth a fortune. Where the $1.3 million claim comes from, you've probably seen the viral claims online. The 1981 P quarter worth $1.3 million. But here's the truth behind this number. There has been no verified public auction of any 1981 P quarter selling for anywhere close to $1 million. The number comes from speculation, exaggerated listings, and misunderstood claims about ultra-rare errors. That said, in the world of numismatics, there are coins from common years that have reached shocking prices because of extreme and unique one-of-a-kind mint errors. In extremely rare cases, a single, never-seen-before error type can create frenzy among top collectors willing to pay extraordinary sums. When people mention $1.3 million, they're referring to the hypothetical value of a never-before-discovered, absolutely unique 1981 P error coin that could exist in theory. If someone found a quarter with a massive, dramatic, once-in-history mint mistake, a bidding war could push the price into seven-figure territory. It's unlikely, but not impossible. That's what fuels the excitement. Realistic high-end values for this coin. Here's what collectors actually pay for rare 1981 P quarters. A massive flip-over double strike has sold for thousands of dollars. A wrong planchet strike can sell for $800 to $1,000 depending on condition. A strong double die can reach over $100. A high-grade, nearly perfect mint state coin graded by PCGS or NGC can reach a few dozen dollars, and sometimes more if it's a top population. Example. While most 1981 P quarters are common, the rare ones genuinely can be valuable. How your 1981 P coin could be worth big. To find out if your coin is valuable, you need to look for specific clues. Check for doubling on the motto, the date, or Washington's profile. Inspect for any misaligned or off-center strike. Look at the coin's edges to see if anything appears irregular. Weigh the coin. A normal quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. If the coin is dramatically lighter or heavier, it might be struck on the wrong planchet. Look for missing elements, faded lettering, or missing parts of the design. That if you find anything unusual, it might be worth submitting the coin to a professional grading service. That's the only way to confirm whether you have a normal quarter or something truly special. So, is the 1981 P Washington quarter worth $1.3 million? For almost everyone, the answer is no. A regular 1981 P quarter is worth just a quarter. But for a tiny number of coins with extraordinary errors, the value can skyrocket into the thousands. And yes, in theory, a once-in-a-lifetime mint mistake could push a coin into million-dollar territory. That's the thrill of coin collecting. You never know when something ordinary could turn out to be extraordinary. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1981 Washington quarter, make sure you hit like, subscribe for more coin collecting videos, and leave a comment telling me what rare coins you want to learn about next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want, I can also write a shorter version, a more dramatic storytelling version, or a version optimized for 10-minute YouTube monetization timing. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about one of the most surprising and widely discussed coins online, the 1984 D Washington quarter. You may have seen articles and videos claiming that this coin could be worth up to $1.4 million. Yes, a single quarter from 1984, minted in Denver, supposedly worth more than luxury homes, exotic cars, and entire investment portfolios. But what's the truth behind this coin? How rare is it? Where did this massive price tag come from? And could you actually have one of these coins hiding in your pocket change? Get comfortable, because today we'll explore the history, the real value, the rare errors, and the unbelievable possibilities surrounding the 1984 D. Washington Quarter. History of the 1984 Washington Quarter. The Washington Quarter has been part of America's currency system since 1932. The design, created by John Flanagan, shows George Washington on the front and a powerful bald eagle on the reverse. By 1984, the design was still unchanged, but the minting technology had evolved, and millions of these coins were produced every year. The 1984 D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small letter D on the front of the coin, located just beside Washington's ponytail. Denver is known for high-volume production, and in 1984, the Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters. That means the standard 1984 D quarter is usually very common. Most examples you find today are worth only their face value, but as with all high-mintage coins, mistakes happen. And it's those mistakes that turn an ordinary 25-cent coin into something worth hundreds, thousands, or even far more. Why most 1984 D quarters are selling? Before we jump into the high-value stories, it's important to understand why most of these coins are ordinary. They were produced in huge quantities, and they were meant for everyday circulation. Because of this, the average coin is worn, scratched, and shows decades of handling. Even uncirculated versions are usually worth only a few dollars unless they have something special. But hidden in the massive batches of 1984 quarters are a handful of coins with dramatic, rare mint errors. And those are the coins that collectors hunt for. The rare errors that give the 1984 D quarter real value are the major types of rare errors that can give the 1984 D quarter serious collector value. A strong double die, where parts of the lettering or Washington's portrait appear doubled. This can increase the value dramatically depending on how visible the doubling is. An off-center strike, where the design is printed noticeably off to one side. The more shifted the design, the more valuable the coin. A broad strike, where the coin expands beyond its normal size because the collar failed during striking. A missing clad layer error, where the top nickel layer was not fully bonded, exposing the copper underneath. These errors often stand out visually and can command a premium. Strikes on the wrong planchet, where a quarter design is accidentally pressed onto the metal blank of a nickel or penny. These are extremely rare and can sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. Double strikes, triple strikes, die breaks, and cuts. These dramatic errors are often the most expensive because they are visually stunning and highly collectible. These types of mistakes are the real reason some 1984 D quarters can be worth serious money. Where the $1.4 million claim comes from now, let's talk about the big question. Why do people say the 1984 D quarter could be worth $1.4 million? This number comes from online speculation, exaggerated listings, and comparisons to other high-end mint-era coins that have sold for enormous prices. There have been coins from other years with once-in-a-lifetime errors that have sold for 6 or 7 figures. And collectors sometimes speculate that a never-discovered, extreme mint error on a 1984 D quarter could bring similar prices. But here's the truth. There has never been a confirmed public auction of a 1984 D quarter selling for $1.4 million. There has never been a verified sale in the hundreds of thousands either. The number is theoretical, based on the idea that if someone found a unique, dramatic, perfect error that no other collector has ever seen, the bidding war among top-tier collectors could push it into seven-figure territory. And in other words, the million-dollar story is not pure fiction, but it has not happened. It's a possibility, not a documented sale. Realistic values for rare 1984 D quarters. Here's what collectors actually pay for the rarest known examples of 1984 D Washington quarters. A dramatic double strike can sell for several hundred to several $1,000s. A wrong planchet strike, where the coin was accidentally pressed onto a copper or nickel blank, can reach over $1,000. A strong off-center strike can sell for $100 to $500, depending on how dramatic it is. A mint state, high-grade 1984 D quarter certified by a grading service can be worth between $10 and $100, depending on quality. A missing clad layer can range from $50 to several hundred SO. While most coins are only worth a quarter, there are absolutely 1984 D quarters worth big money. How your 1984 D quarter could be worth tickets. To find out whether your coin is special, Here are the signs to look for. Check for doubling on the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date. Any doubling on the letters or Washington's profile is worth examining. Look for off-center strikes where part of the design is missing. Inspect the edges. If the copper layer shows unusually or the coin looks like it is missing part of its clad layer, you may have an error. Weigh the coin. A standard quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. If the weight is significantly different, it could be struck on the wrong planchet. Inspect both sides for cracks in the die, raised metal blobs, or missing sections of the design. If anything looks unusual, consider submitting the coin to a professional grading company. A confirmed rare error is the only way a common coin becomes truly valuable. So, is the 1984 D Washington quarter really worth $1.4 million? For most people, no. The typical 1984 D quarter is worth 25 cents. But rare error coins from this year can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. And in theory, an unheard of, once-in-history error could push the price into the million-dollar range. That's what makes coin collecting exciting. You never know when a normal-looking coin might contain an extraordinary mistake. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1984 D quarter, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and comment which rare coin you want to hear about next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want, I can also make a more dramatic storytelling version, a version optimized for a 10-minute monetized video, a shorter or more energetic script.